From the heart of God's country, in the midst of the Great Smoky Mountains, it's Knoxville International Christian Film Festival presents, featuring creative Christians from around the globe, honoring God in the spirit of excellence and service. Now, your host, Rob Ekno.
Hi, I'm Rob Ekno. Welcome to another tremendously powerful and impactful episode of Knoxville International Christian Film Festival presents Oh My. Today we are going up to the wonderful state of New Jersey, and a brilliant filmmaker born in Brazil, and he just has this amazing spirit and talent, and most of all, courage to tell a story that I've never seen before, and I'm going to imagine that you haven't either. It is powerful, but sad. I get tears. I've watched it a couple of times now. I get tears each time. I'll probably get tears again today, and you will probably as well if you are a loving child of God, which I believe you to certainly be if you're watching us today. Duda Penteado is this gentleman's name. His 10-minute piece that we're going to see is called All People Free. And I don't want to give it away. I'm going to let Duda kind of set us up. We'll meet him for a few minutes, and then we will watch All People Free. I promise you, you may wish to have some tissues next to you watching this. And if the very least, nothing else, you will see a part of the world that will make your head shake. Well, as I promised you, this wonderful, handsome man who actually is Brazilian, but now living in the great state of New Jersey, Duda Penteado. Duda, thanks for joining us here on Knoxville International Christian Film Festival Presents.
Sure, the pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for inviting me to be in this program today.
Well, you know what? I shared with the audience before I just introduced you that we were going to see one of the most powerful 10 minutes of a short film that anyone would ever see. And here's the thing. I guarantee you, after our audience gets a chance to see this today, Duda, that they're going to kind of be in shock like I was, because I'll guarantee you that probably about 98%, if not more, of the world really has no clue that this particular situation is going on in the world. So, first of all, if you could tell us just a little bit about your filmmaking career.
Yeah, Rob. I'm a fine artist, visual artist. Today I'm considered Duda Penteado the archivist, which is an artist who is interesting and social issues, important social issues,
Hmm.
right? Throughout the years, they start writing about me that was engaged. I guess I was naturally drawn to those issues because the way I was raised and both parents was educators down in Brazil.
Hmm.
São Paulo, I grew up in São Paulo, big city, and there was always a lot going on. So my film career came from me making art performances. I wanted to film and register the process. And from there, people start asking, "Wow, this is great. Why don't you do more, more, and more?" And then I did a series of interviews of artists that was very successful. And then a friend of mine approached me, and we opened the Unshakable Productions. And I love documentaries. I always been watching films all over as a kid, right? Films and going museums. My parents always taking me to see stuff. So my artistic influence comes from theater, comes from film, comes from art, performance. There's a lot of kind of going on, and acting involved me as an artist. But then for me, film became like, you know, documentaries became such a serious business because today people almost prefer to see the real person talking about the issue than the actor talking about the issue, right?
Yes.
So documentaries became docu-series, became this big thing, and I think this is incredible because I tell people generically, you won't believe what people are capable to do.
Yes.
You cannot write that stuff up.
Yeah.
You know, what people do just blows your mind. It's like, I can't believe this did really do that. Yes, this is what happened. So there's so much going on in the world in terms of transformation, redemption, but also very serious issues, you know, and um, I have put my heart in every time before I take a project, I'm praying, say, God, what's the next project you want me to put my hands on? So the Old People Free was a process like that. So I've been making films now for the past 10 years, and I have now 10 different awards. I won every award for every film. God has given me that grace, but I have made sure I always put my hand in some important issue that is something that it needs to be talked about some way, somehow. It needs to be shed some light on it.
Well, this particular project right here, whew, oh man, I know when I originally watched this with our other judges, we were just shaking our heads because you brought to life a subject that we're going to watch in just a moment. If you're sitting at home, I promise you, you're not going to want to get off that couch for 10 minutes when we start showing this film. It is amazing. And not only is it brilliant cinematography and the whole piece you put together, Duda, with the music, the pacing, the editing, all of it together, and the interviews, but the subject matter, as you were just saying, you were saying you want to bring subjects to light and hopefully bring some healing to the world and some folks noticing things where they might come in and be able to rescue folks, whatever it might be. But the work you're doing is just absolutely amazing. Could you set us up before we go into All People Free without giving it all away, but give us a nice setup?
So basically, what I'm going to tell you right now is people don't know that I didn't know. We have more slaves than today than ever in history. We have 50 million plus people
Wow.
trapped all over the world in all kinds of slavery systems. Like we know about prostitution or organ sales, you know, and the black market. But there is a whole other side of industries that are operating by using modern day slavery. So there's 50 million plus people just caught up with this. Now, the part that was more shocking to me is what is the big industry today then keep most of for up to 40% of modern day slavery is making bricks.
Wow.
That was also shocking to me. I had no idea. So I begin to understand then this issue needs it needs education, right? For you to bring change, the first thing you need to do is educate people.
Absolutely.
So the documentary is, like I said to you before, I did this 10-minute version, then it's been going around for a year, and we won an award with you, a few other ones. And I just finished the 1 hour of version of the film, and we're gonna be pushing everywhere and doing the things you help us to do to get out there for the public to know
Yes.
this issue exists so they can connect and help somehow. There's so many ways they can help just connecting to Old People Free. So when I found out this problem, I'm like, oh my God, it's right here under our nose that we don't know what
Yes.
it has become this such a called global economy and how people are operating through those loopholes. You know what I'm saying? So I since I saw that, I was like, I gotta really get involved. So we put the team, we traveled to Middle East, we went through Dubai and then went to Pakistan, some places there, came back, and and then we became the process. The reality is most of the modern day slavery related to BRICS are focused in North Africa, Asia, and Middle Eastern countries. But there are also other places in the world doing a little bit of this. So we begin this project. This 10 minute and 1 hour is the beginning. Hopefully, I can make enough noise to create a docu series where I can go more in depth about different sectors of modern day slavery. And and
Absolutely.
and we have been creating, thank God, incredible 1 year fundraising campaign. now, and people are being very accepting to this and being donating and becoming aware of the issue. So I'm happy so far. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that you've done award-winning work. And if you're sitting at home watching right now and you're like, who is this guy in New Jersey talking about slavery and making bricks and so on? Listen, we're going to show you right now exactly what he's talking about.
This is in fact the largest form of human trafficking in the world. Could not put into words when I stepped onto that brick kiln.
A real brickyard person. I was like, I'm breathing the air, same air as he is.
Just a whole swath of the 20 million slaves are in a condition where they're building bricks.
Cannot allow their voices to remain silent any longer. A year after my daughter was born, there was a young girl named Malala, and she was standing up for the rights of women to receive an education in Pakistan. As a result of her tenacious and boldness, the Taliban saw her as a threat and they attempted to kill her. When I think about my daughter, and I would look at her and I would think about Malala, it was too much for me. I couldn't fathom that my daughter wouldn't be able to go to school safely, or that she wouldn't be able to have a dream of being a lawyer or doctor or whatever she wanted to be. And yet here was this girl, Malala, almost giving her life just to stand up and say, hey, I want to go to school.
I have rights. I have the right of education. I have the right to play. I have the right to sing. I have the right to talk. I have the right to go to market. I have the right to speak up.
Root cause to human trafficking is poverty. And poverty exists. It doesn't matter where it is in the world. Poverty exists because of lack of education and opportunity.
Poverty is not simply about money, and that's the message from the United Nations, which has released a new report looking at global poverty rates, using factors like health, education, and standard of living rather than income. The UN has shown an enormous disparity between rich and poor.
New figures show 1.3 billion people are what the UN calls multi-dimensionally poor. Of the 5 Asian countries the UN highlighted, Bangladesh had the highest poverty rate of 42%, followed by Pakistan with 38%, Cambodia 37%, India 28%, and Vietnam dramatically less, with just 5% of the population considered poor.
The evilness, the unfairness, the injustice of the economic bondage of people in slavery, with sexual slavery being the worst of it all. And I think it is because it's the time in history to end this.
Slavery used to look like this, then it evolved into this, and today it looks like this. In fact, there are an estimated 45.8 million people living in modern slavery across 167 different countries, children held in the commercial sex trade, adults held in the commercial sex trade, and any other laborer made to work through force, fraud, or coercion. The trafficking victim often looks like anybody else at work, in a mine, on a farm, in a factory. Many are lured by promises of a steady job in another country, only to have their passports confiscated when they arrive. However, many slaves work in their native countries, or even the cities where they were born.
So we fight for everything. Child abuse, malnutrition, bad working condition, bad living condition. These are the issues we face. Because he has no power, he has nothing in his hand, he has no money, he has no influence. Nobody listens to him. He's a very common man.
How do we reignite the sensitivity of pain to say that, oh no, that if my brother is suffering or my sister's suffering, that is something that I need to partner in? It's the next generation. The next generation are tenacious. They're hungry. They're not happy with the way things are going, the despondency and the apathy. And so they want something. Give me something that I could just hold on to. Give me something that I could fight for.
For the world, she is known as a modern-day Harriet Tubman. She is just a Baji who can help them escape the brutalities of the brick kiln.
I have been fighting 35 years for freeing brickland workers. We should observe what we have committed with the international community, because GSP Plus is not still implemented in our country, and that also a big root cause of slavery.
Prominent Kashmiri activist Jamil Maqsood has urged the European Commission to review GSP Plus, the generalized scheme of preferences status for Pakistan in the wake of ongoing human rights violations in the country. The new GSP scheme is currently being debated in the European Union Parliament as it intends to add more conventions, mainly focusing on human rights, and Pakistan is lobbying to relax conditions which provides preferential treatment for exporting countries.
So international community can also play a very pivotal role, make a big dent for the eradication of bonded labor.
I had no idea the magnitude on how an estimated 50 million people are trapped in modern slavery. And 40% of them, that's 20 million people, are trapped in brick homes, making bricks. This is an issue that stretches across Northern Africa, the Middle East, Asia.
The number of people falling victim to modern slavery is estimated to have risen significantly in recent years. Now, that's according to the 2023 Global Slavery Index, which just revealed its latest set of worrying figures. Around 50 million people were reportedly living in situations of modern slavery in any given day in 2021. That's an increase of about 10 million people since 2016.
And I saw the suffering. I saw women, I saw children. They're in slavery for generations.
I wanted to know. I said, tell me about it. He said, my grandfather was born in the brickyard. My father was born, and mother were born in the brickyard. And I was born in the brickyard.
Your contribution can be so small, but it can go such a long way. And it might not get them out of the situation right away, but at least it's a starting point to help and bringing them meals, like I said, and giving them education, being liberated.
In my heart. You're beautiful. Always beautiful.
What we're dealing with is generational slavery. I want to see the world rally behind this cause and stand up for the rights of all these young children that are not able to receive an education because they're being forced into this horrific working condition. I want to see all that come to an end, and we can bring resources and programs and aid and education and industry in a way that's going to actually make a pathway to get these people from a life of slavery into a life of freedom. All People Free is about seeing all people come free.
as I promised you, one of the most powerful 10-minute videos you will probably ever see in your life. Whew, man, I'm still feeling it. Duda Penteado in New Jersey, thank you so much for having the courage to make us aware of what's going on. Because, you know, in this crazy world, Duda, people are complaining about the fact that, you know, they're $5 short of this, or their brother doesn't love them as much today, or something, things that can be solved quite easily. And you just showed us something where people are stuck in this life where who knows if they'll ever get out. You put the team together, you got enough funding to get over there, you did your homework and research, but you got behind the camera lens and started filming this. What was it like through that process and while you were putting the whole thing in the editing booth?
I give you this example so you know. When I got inside one of the brick factories, I was there, and I didn't see a stove, I didn't see a bathroom, I didn't see a drinking water.
Wow.
And I'm asking these guys, what do they eat? How did they cook? And they said that, you know, they take the dung, they put on the wall, and they cook on that sometimes. They cook on garbage to set up fire to make food.
Oh.
I mean, the conditions I saw, Rob, was so beyond. And let me say that all of that stuff, on top of um, extreme weathers. I was there in the winter, but it's desert land. So the winter was already hot. 30, 30, 35 was hot. I was with a t-shirt like this in the winter. Imagine in the summer, 120, 140, and people making bricks 5, 6 hours a day in an open field. Children and women mainly. The man end up selling the organs to pay for medical issues, and they become disabled.
Oh,
I mean, all kinds of things. Look, I'm just gonna say this to you. When I came back to the US, I was 2 weeks numb. And I'm saying that because you're just mentioned now as your intro.
Yes.
I used to look at people in the US and they said anything to me. I'm like, look my eye, you have no problem.
Yes.
I put you in a plane. I'm gonna take you to a place for a week. You're gonna come back. You have no problem right now, because what I saw was unbelievable painful, and I need that. And I'm gonna say this to you. I hope this film causes pain for people that watch, causes stir them up.
Yes.
And I hope this film is more than a film and get people to go on Old People Free and make a little donation and promote the institution, because you know what it is? These children and these people are the forgotten people. You know who remembers then? God remembers then. So that's what we remember then.
Yes.
And that's why it was so important for me to send this film to Christian film festivals, Rob, because I knew directors like you treat this differently.
Yes.
You know, obviously, the world understands. I say this to you, this is a huge humanitarian issue. Yes. People are not happy about it. People are very becoming very uncomfortable with this China deal, buy everything cheap.
Yes.
You know, I tell people, you buy a nice shirt for $2, you should worry about it because somebody is working for free. There's no free lunch in this world. So I think there's a shift now that people want to pay a little more, knowing that people are treated decently across the road. You know, that's what it means being a global community, right? Not
Absolutely.
just the global economy, right?
So, Duda, we just have a minute or so left here. Let me ask you this, because this has been an amazing testimony that you've shared, a film. And folks, if you missed it out, go on our YouTube channel and rewatch this one and see if you would like to help out. Duda, what would you like our audience to take away after seeing this and hearing your thoughts today?
I would love them to take action. pass the movie, help to promote what you're doing, as much as we can through face, whatever they want to do. I created a thing called Join the Movement. Join the movement who you are. Help us to book a screening if you want to do that to a new audience. And make a donation. Make a donation you can. Go to Old People Free website. It's a full nonprofit. Do whatever you can, whatever God put in your heart. Because if everyone joins this with a little bit in a global movement, we are making the difference. There's so many important issues, then they need to be promoted. The world needs to know why, because there's lives at stake. And the human life is such an important thing, and when nobody sees, God sees that. And God opened doors and does things in ways then and we can't even fathom. He just start putting the pieces together. What I say to people, the word coincidence does not exist in the Bible. There's a divine intention behind what's happening here. And I really want to thank you what you're doing. I thank you for bringing to this TV show, and any way I can help to continue to promote, and I'll make an effort to be next year with you guys in person so we can promote what you're doing, and you changing lives, and that's what art does. Art done with the right heart in the right place, changing lives. That's what it does. And you're part of this movement. I truly appreciate that.
Thank you so much for being here. We hope to meet you in person someday down the road real soon.
Robert, I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much. I will finish with my famous line, to be continued. All right.
There you go. And we will be. Rob Ekno, for all of us here at Knoxville International Christian Film Festival presents. I'll see you again next week. Same time, same place.